Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show, everybody. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. As you can see here, giving you guys a look. First of all, I'm attired as a Braves fan tonight, rocking the blue and the white and the red pocket square, letting you guys know that we are supporting our Atlanta Braves. And behind me there, you can see a glimpse of what the Bravo fans are looking at. This is Minute Maid Park as they get ready right now to square off in World Series game number one. And to join us here on the live broadcast, you know how we like to do it. We want to bring on one of the most beautiful women in sports talk radio or TV, the one and only Queen Dolman. Welcome back to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Fantastic. Feeling great. Great to be out here. Back with another edition of Real Talk Sports, and it's crazy here. It's been a very crazy day. There we go. There's our backdrop. Yeah, very crazy day today, but that's okay. We're feeling good. Glad to be here. Glad to be with you, and glad to see you again. And I will say, glad to see you in person. Huh. So tell us a little bit about that grand weekend you had as a celebrity golfer for a wonderful fundraising event down on the South Side.
I had a wonderful time golfing, met some great people. Thank you, Jonathan, for making the opportunity possible for me. I'm not sure if you saw the pictures, but I sent you the hole that Real Talk Sports sponsored and took a picture by it. But it was really a great time. I hit some amazing shots. I hit some amazing putts, and my team, we finished 5 under par. Not bad.
What?
Not
What?
bad. 'Cause it took me, I didn't get to warm up. So it took me some holes to
Few
get
holes.
warm, and then I started swinging well. But yeah, so it was a phenomenal time.
Yeah, yeah. So it was great to, like I said, see you live and in person for a great cause of parent
Yeah.
mentoring, being involved with trying to work with it's a fundraiser and actually a foundation done by
Yes.
Susan B.
University for
Taylor,
parents.
Universe for Parents. And Susan B. Taylor, for those of you who don't know, the former editor in chief of Essence magazine. And that's what she's been doing in her quote unquote retirement years away from magazine publishing, is trying to get a group together, and has done a group together around the country to try to help mentor parents, try to help young people really grow through their situation with the help of their parents. So, yeah, just a great organization. And my good buddy Dr. Jerome Malsby is kind of the point man here in Atlanta to do that. So yeah, big shout out and big ups to them. So 5 under par, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Especially since you didn't warm up at all. Well, I'm
Yeah.
taking a peek here at the Bravos and looking at this team here and looking at all these guys as they get ready to go battle the Houston Astros. And for Braves fans who have been Braves fans for a while, Tree, this has been like a perfect storm. So it's all about the payback now. So they wanted to get
Right.
they wanted to get the Dodgers back for knocking them out last year, and they did. And now they want to get some get back against the Astros, who have been their nemesis in previous years during the great Braves dynasties. The Braves have been knocked off by the Dodgers, I mean, by the Astros a couple of times when they were still in the National League. So the last time being 2005, as the Astros stopped the Braves from getting to the World Series then. So Braves fans are thinking, if we can now just knock off the Astros, the monkey off our back. So
Yes.
yeah, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. I'm gonna try to see if I can do something here. We were having some technical difficulties earlier, and I'm trying to see if I can get up some pictures. I actually braved the the world that we're in now, this quasi-pandemic world, and actually was there at the Battery uh,
Okay.
for Game Six. And like I said, I'm hoping to get some photos of it. If you guys want to see some of the video, I know some people say, "Minister, the people are so close to you." Yes, I was praying. I had my mask on, but there was so many people. There really was no quote unquote safe area to go. So
Yeah.
and every time I tried to do, the post game wrap up, the fans were so excited when people saw my iPhone go up and realized, oh, he's filming. People just, hey, I was like, oh, I don't know you, please,
Ah,
please get back. But I mean,
I can imagine this, just the excitement. So I'm pretty sure everybody was just like, ah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible. And really, I will admit, I tell people that, kind of watch me do some of these things. As you know, Tree, as you play or do anything that you enjoy and you love, and you're kind of on your stage or platform, your adrenaline is just, I mean, it's cranked. And for me, uh, that's my sporting event. When I'm out and covering events and the people, I mean, the adrenaline was so pumped. And when I saw the people, I just, I mean, I had my KN95 mask on and I just forgot about everything. And people jumping in. I'm like, yes, that's right. The Braves win. So, but it was really a credible scene. You guys go to our Instagram page, Real Talk Sports 7. Check it out. You will see some of the video with me and a couple of fans just going bananas. You'll see some of the photos we have of some of the fireworks. I'm going to put some more up tonight, good Lord willing, after the broadcast. But yeah, Tree, it definitely was must-see TV. And quote-unquote, Braves win, Braves win. So, yeah, good stuff. Really.
Yes. A note to all the Atlanta fans, stop talking about your teams and just support them. Stop being fair weather fans and just support them. Stop saying they're choking and just support them. That's what they need. But I will say, even though we know we hear a lot of fans talking about them choking or this or that, they definitely showed up and supported. So that was great to see all the fans that showed up to the Battery, cheered on their Braves to victory. So let's keep supporting them. That's what the Braves need, and all of the teams here in Atlanta. They just need you guys to show up and support.
Yeah, so Tree, a staggering estimated 15,000 people packed the Battery and turn, and also that was on top of a sellout of over 43,000, the largest crowd they've actually had at a Braves game at Truist Park. So almost 60,000 people in and around the ballpark, and it was just incredible to be there, the energy there, the excitement, seeing the
Yes.
veteran players like Freddie Freeman, and even seeing former Braves players like Brian Jones, who was doing the commentary. What they do is they actually have the setup for the Braves post game is actually in the Battery. So it's outside the stadium. You can see Brian Jordan, all those guys right there. They have a booth set up like ESPN Game Day. So it was really great. Let's go here to our good buddy Todd. He says here, preacher, he said, and at the time I sat there thinking, who owns the Braves? So the Braves are owned actually by Liberty Media Group. It's a corporation that owns them. And that's why I say that really when they choose Baseball Executive of the Year, they need to definitely choose the Braves GM, Alex Anthopoulos, because basically being handcuffed without being able to spend much money, Braves dead in the water, 5.5 games behind the Mets, an MVP candidate, Ronald Acuna Jr. out for the year. And
Yeah,
then
that
a
was
guy,
bad.
right? And then a guy who had been kind of a spark plug for the team last year, Ozuna, out due to domestic battery. So you got two guys that were huge in them getting to the NLCS last year, out for the season. And instead of saying, "Hey, we're just going to scrap it," there was talk about trading Freddie Freeman. They said, "Forget about it." And he went out, added the guys that basically were dominant in the NLCS, including the MVP Eddie Rosario, who tied a record for 14 hits in the NLCS series. So yeah, that guy Alex Anthopoulos, he took a little and made it go a long way.
Hey, that's the only way that you do it. But if they win the World Series, which I'm hoping that they do, it's just going to make it that much more better, because so many people counted them out, thought that, okay, they lost these players, oh, their season is over, and they're showing them, hey, our season is not over, we're still here. So now they're playing for the World Series, and I'm just really excited for the Atlanta Braves. I felt even last year that the team definitely has what it takes to win, and I want them to win the World Series. So let's go ahead and get it. My Detroit Tigers aren't there, so let's go Braves.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go Braves. And like I said again, just great to be there in the middle of it. And really, Tree, that was it was part of a blockbuster weekend for the Real Talk Sports Show. You and I down at the fundraiser golf event first thing in the morning. And yours truly went back home, grabbed a little bite to eat, and then went back out and did something we had not done before. Covered a live boxing match. Was there at the tremendous boxing match that included on the undercard the grandson of Muhammad Ali and the son of Evander Holyfield, even Evan Holyfield, who actually scored a first round knockout. So
Wow,
that was great.
phenomenal.
Yep. And then went up the highway to be there for the last two innings of the Braves clinching the NLCS and sending them to the World Series. So just great stuff. Well, speaking of,
Wait, oh.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, also including great stuff that was going on this weekend and this week. Well, yesterday, I went down to Eagles Landing, and the Calvin Pete Foundation put on the inaugural Collegiate Cup, where they had Morehouse College playing against Alabama State. and it is celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Calvin Peete Foundation. And can I tell you, it was just great. Stephen Smith was there. The bus was there. One of the guys from Morehouse was from Detroit. So, we all had to take a Detroit picture. Calvin Peete was from Detroit. And it's just phenomenal because he has opened so many doors for African Americans in the game of golf. He paved the way for all of us to be able to play this great sport. And he's a legend. And so I just appreciate the invitation. PGD Global put it on, and it was just a phenomenal event. Watching Morehouse and Alabama State go at it was just really great to see. So hats off to the Calvin Peete Foundation, and congratulations on their 10th anniversary.
Well, Tree, I hear that with bittersweet news because a good friend of mine who had been involved in the foundation before, they asked me, say, hey, do you know when the Calvin Peete event is going on? I said, let me go and check the website. And unfortunately, I did not, because Eagles Landing is literally 15 minutes from my house. And I'm very familiar with the course. Used to, matter of fact, I still have several friends who are members there, so it would have been great to be down there. But nevertheless, you were in the building representing. And speaking of representing, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news here. I'm going to try to see if I can turn the camera. So you got, no, probably can't do that. But breaking news here. First inning of play, Jorge Soler, who had been out due to COVID and had only been able to get back to play recently in one of the games, has led off the game for the Braves with a blast into the left center field bleachers. The score in the first inning, Braves still up. Braves up 1-0 on a Jorge Soler epic home run into the left center seat. So it's already rocking and rolling. Well, speaking of rocking and rolling, anytime we do this show, we also, if we're going to bring in a queen, we have to also bring in a champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, a NFL veteran of over a decade, and let me make sure I got it right one more time. A member of the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame, the one and only Tyrone Poole is in the building. What's going on, sir?
How we doing, everybody? How we doing, listeners?
Hi, Tyrone. Okay, got the new background. Okay.
Yeah, it's the 90s, so the Braves haven't been to the World Series since 1990. So as the old song goes from Prince, we're going to party like it's 1999. So you know what? I had to go back to the 90s and find some type of background that represented the 90s. So, this is what the 90s was all about. So the Braves are rocking and rolling again. And, man, hopefully they'll bring a championship to the city of Atlanta. And, man, it's exciting time. So glad to be on the show. Welcome all those who are watching and listening. Oh, man, I've been on the backstage listening to you guys. So, but yeah, it's fun times right now in Atlanta, all of Georgia, period.
Okay, I'm starting to feel some type of way. Jonathan, you got the Braves backdrop. Tyrone, you got a backdrop for the Braves. Yeah. Me, I don't, but I have my handsome hubby and myself right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take it with that. But I kind of feel like maybe I should have done something with the Braves.
Well, let me go ahead and just do a close-up. I believe you are doing all right all by yourself.
I know, right? I know. She's a rose between two thorns.
Come on, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Yes, sir.
Y'all are too kind.
Let's go to our friends on social media. Todd is asking a question. Why is Freeman batting second? Well, Freddie has actually batted second for a large portion of the season. They want him up there, number one, to see a lot of good pitches. And the Braves, unlike some other teams, they actually have a power hitter that usually hits in the number one slot because a lot of people may not understand, but Ronald Acuna Jr., when he played, there's a guy that's a potential, 30, 40 homer guy, 30, 40 steal guy. So you have a situation where you want Freddie bat second because you know that if they try to pitch around Acuna, or in this case, Jorge Soler, you got a guy that's a 300 hitter that's going to see great pitches. So that's why they got Freddie batting second. Tyrone, as soon as you jump in, of course, Todd has got a question for you. He says he owes you an apology, sir. He said, Matt brought it around like it was 1999. So there you go.
I accept that. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, guys, we're going to take a little quick break here in the action so we get a little sponsor plug in. Listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. Keep it locked right here for more as we come back with more hot stuff. But again, update here in the top of the first. Austin Riley up at the plate. Braves already ahead on a Jorge Soler home run, 1-0. They have a man on with one out. and their big bopper on the plate. And you might get the chops out, baby, because Ozzy Albies, after getting on base, has already stole second. So I'll let you guys tune into the TV, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Don't go nowhere, please.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Well, let me go ahead and put the shades on right quick. Again, you're watching Real Talk Sports Show. We broadcast to you on multiple platforms. Big shout out to those of you watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter TV. Periscope, unfortunately, is gone. And those of you who have joined us on the Roku channel, both on the Serum Sports and Entertainment Network and on the Phoenix Entertainment Group Network. Well, I guess the Braves must have been listening to Todd throw shade on them because the big bopper, Austin Riley, has now delivered with a blistering double in the gap. Ozzy Albies has rounded second and come on home. And the Braves, still up at the plate, man on second, one out, lead the Astros already 2-0, and we're just in the first inning. So, Mr. Todd, thank you for throwing shade on the Braves because they heard you all the way down in the state of Texas. Braves bopping. Hey, this is kind of what we were hoping, guys. Braves to kind of come out and kind of set the tone early. Tyrone, I think you know from playing in championship games how important it is to kind of make that early statement and get a team on its heels.
Now, you know what? Before I hit on that right there, you definitely got to start hot. You start hot, you're going to end hot. What I like about the Braves season this year, it teaches us all a lesson. And I always believe that sports is a great parallel to life. There was a halfway point during the season, an all-star break. Let's just go ahead and make it clear. The all-star break, the Braves were 44 and 45. Pretty much everybody had basically counted them out. And the GM and the manager and the rest of the team got together, started with the GM. That's why I always say change starts at the top, man. It starts at the top. And he went out and he got on the phones. He called teams. He brought in players. They changed the whole outfield. They reconstructed the infield, brought in some pitching, and now look where they are. So I say all that to say, no matter what your adversity is in life, no matter what you're going through, it ain't over until you say it's over. Now, what you got to do, you got to change your structure and you got to change your strategy. And that's what the Braves did, man. That's why I love this season. That's why I think this season should be something that people should look back on in their own life and just know it doesn't matter where you start, it's how you finish. So change your structure, change your strategy if it's not working. And if you don't believe, look at the Braves. There we go.
Well, Tree, I know you're excited seeing our local team win as well. It's just very exciting to kind of see them in postseason play like this. It's epic. That's all I can say about it. It just
It is epic. I really want them to win the World Series. I am rooting for the Braves. I actually saw somebody posted the hat. I was like, ooh, I don't even wear hats. But I was like, I may go and buy one of those hats and a t-shirt or something. Right. I do have a couple of Brave jerseys, which of course I'm not going to wear because they're autographed. But, I'm rooting for the Braves, and I really want them to bring a World Series championship to the city of Atlanta.
Well, they're doing all they can here. Like you said, they are still batting in the top of the first, 2 outs. They have a man on second base in scoring position, so it's not over yet. They still might pop on a few more runs as well. But like I said again, it is good stuff here. Watching these Braves get out this kind of lead up 2-0 already at Minute Maid Park in Houston. I want to give you guys a look at what the Braves are looking at, and that's what they saw when they came in. That's Minute Maid Park behind us. And like I said, the Braves are still up to play. Adam Duvall, a guy who actually leads the league in home runs between the Braves and the Marlins. He has 39 homers this year, 113 runs batted in. And there's no question, man, the biggest thing is, and we don't want to go too long to the Braves, but it's just so exciting to have one of our teams now playing for a championship again. This is just must-see TV. All right, speaking of that,
You say this. You know, talking about the Braves, this is what you need. Contagious. It's contagious. It's like a cold. It's like a virus. You talk about it long enough, all the other professional teams will catch on because they'll get tired of you talking about somebody else. That's the team. Everybody loves winners. It is what it is. And people gonna go out. You mentioned hats. They're gonna go out. They're gonna buy Brave jerseys. You know what? Their income and financials are gonna go up. Okay. Now you talk about all the other professional teams in the state of Georgia or in Atlanta. You know what? Hey, you guys better change your structure or change your strategy because all the money going to the Braves. All right. So no, talk about the Braves, man. It make all them other teams because I know they listening. They gonna say, man, we want Real Talk Sports to talk about us. You know, nobody want to keep talking about losers, man. At least I don't. That stuff is around me, man. Hey, I look around winners.
Well, you know, I'm going to say this really quickly here. You're speaking of how contagious, and before I get into that, you talked about things that you learned. So for me, the thing I take from the Braves is, like you said, never say never. The Braves manager, Brian Snitker, is a guy that is well beloved around Major League Baseball because of his kind of fatherly approach, low key. He's not a screaming holler. He's a guy that, I don't know if you want to call him a player's manager, but he basically says, I got grown men here, and I'm going to put my trust in you. Even if you sometimes don't deliver, I believe that, you know, if I give you the chance and put you in the right position, you're going to, you know, take care of business. And that's the key for the bullpen. The first half of the year, the bullpen stunk. I mean, they really were terrible. But down the stretch, August through September, guys that people were saying, please don't put them in, all of a sudden became dominant in the bullpen. And so big kudos to that. And the other thing, too, about Brian Snitker, for me being a baby boomer, Brian Snitker has been around baseball, I think, for 40-something years. He just turned 66 years old. This is his first World Series appearance. So to parrot you, Tyrone, it ain't over till it's over. So the minister's saying, I still feel pretty spry, baby. So we might do a little something before the clock strikes zero.
Now,
so that's it, man.
Now, let's not forget, though, Houston Astros, man, they are playing for something on their side as well. Now, they are a talented team. They are talented, probably more talented than the Braves, but I think the Braves are hot right now. They are hot. But let's not forget about those Houston Astros, man. They are playing for something, too. Remember the time when they won the World Series, everybody was saying, oh, they cheated. So, believe me, they want to prove a point, too. So, you got two teams that are trying to make a point. So the Braves, they're hot right now, and the Astros, they're saying, hey, we want to win this World Series so we can show people that we did it the right way this time. So I think it's going to be a barn burner of a series, man.
Oh, yeah, it should be. And like you said, the Astros haven't even come up to plate yet. So a 2-0 lead is nothing to this team. And you're right. Both teams got something to prove. Another sidebar is one of the Astros' key players, I think it's Dave Bergman, is his first name. Bergman wears number 2. And they said the reason why he wears number 2 is because he was drafted number 2 overall by Major League Baseball, and he's had some tremendous years with the Astros. I think he was MVP of the ALCS a couple of years ago. And guess who was drafted number 1 overall? Some guy that plays for the Braves by the name of Dansby Swanson. So definitely some little back and forth. I mean, both guys says no animosity, but, you know, both teams are coming in here with kind of a chip on their shoulders for different reasons. But, yeah, it's going to be must-see TV. And you talk about contagion as we get ready to shift into a little basketball. One of the biggest posts on social media, Tree, I'm sure you saw it, Tyrone, you may or may not have saw it, was one Trae Young walking into the Braves stadium for Game 6 with his official red Braves jersey on and saying a few words to the crowd before the game. So there's no question that, when you start rolling the other professional teams, it gets contagious and they want to see it as well. Well, speaking of the Braves, speaking of the Hawks and basketball, we are bringing back a guy who is now being called all over the country for his input in basketball at every level, especially collegiate and in the NBA. He's been a continued contributor for 92.9 The Game, the largest sports radio station here in the Southeast. And we call him our basketball savant. The one and only Deshaun Tate is back in the building. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
Man, top of the evening to you guys. Rev, Brother Pooh. Tree already know what's coming this weekend, so
Listen,
I ain't even gonna get into
I'm so
that.
happy
Look,
that
I can't even Rev, I can't even talk. I thought it was my introduction. I can't even speak.
Hey, listen, man. You know your Michiganders do it. You Detroit babies. You know how you like to hog the mic as soon as you get it. So, what you want?
My bad, Deshaun. I'm sorry.
All
No,
right,
it's
so
okay. It's okay.
So why are you two Michiganders so excited? Tell the people so we can know what's up. Why y'all so excited?
Ladies first.
Oh, you let me go first. What? Thank you, Deshaun. So, of course, this week, Michigan State, who is 7-0, is playing Michigan, who is 7-0. And so both teams are undefeated. So this is going to be a great football game to see who is going to stay undefeated and who's going to get their first loss for the season.
So the maize and blue and the green and white once again playing with high stakes on the line. And I believe we have a maize and blue in the upper right-hand corner, and we have a Spotty, as they call him, down in the left-hand.
Well, I'm both. But Deshaun doesn't like that.
Tyrone, help me, please help me.
Choose one or the
OMG.
No, Rev, let me tell you something, Rev. There's no such thing as being both. You can't be, Georgia and Georgia Tech. You can't be, you can't be Georgia and Florida. Another good game coming up this weekend. Any of the other big time rival schools. There's no such thing as being both. I got to start checking people's temperature when they say things like that. And by the way, I'm just gonna correct Miss Dolman just for a second. Michigan State's not playing Michigan. Michigan's playing Michigan State.
Wow.
Yes, they are both undefeated. So yes, she has a good point. But based off of, and we're gonna make this quick because I know we didn't come in here for a Big Ten introduction and all that kind of stuff. The reality is this: they play for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Michigan State only won 2 games last year all season. One of them was against Michigan. So don't make me bring that trophy out the china cabinet for no reason at all. I'll make sure it's nice and shiny, but don't make me bring it out for no reason. So right now, Michigan State has the bragging rights. So I like to think of it as Michigan playing Michigan State. And by the way, don't forget about those words from Mike Hart, the running back coach. Ever since he called Michigan State little brother, I think that Michigan State has won 9 of the last 13 meetings. So pride comes before the fall. Remember that.
Yeah. You're right. And I will say, had I actually gone to one of the schools, I would have gone to Michigan over Michigan State. So I can't say that. But Michigan State does have bragging rights. But honestly, I'm just rooting for the best team. Whoever wins is who I am cheering for. So I like both schools, even though I know Deshaun does not like when I say that. But I'm a Spartan for life too. So Sparty on. And like I said, my friend's son plays for the Spartans. So of course I'm rooting for him.
Okay, well, there you go. I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna put in one last comment here about the Braves. Todd is talking about the fact that it's true that it's the underrated job that the third base coach Washington has done. This is a man a lot of people don't know. The Braves third base coach actually was a manager himself, and he managed the Texas Rangers to back-to-back appearances to the World Series. They got beat. I think I can't call the 2 teams that knocked them off, but so big kudos. He also played with the A's and won a world title with them. So big shout out to the Braves third base coach and the job he's done in combining with Snicker. All right, so let's get back to some basketball. All right, Deshaun, actually, hang on. Let's do this. Before we get back to basketball, I'll take a quick break for the sponsors. It's going to be a quick mini one. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
All right, we're back here. You are watching and listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, and around our panel, the basketball savant, Mr. Deshaun Tate, the queen herself, Miss Tree Dolman, and 2-time Super Bowl champion, Mr. Tyrone Poole, all here. And he's still chopping, guys. And why shouldn't he? The Braves have jumped out to an early 2-0 lead here in the first inning of play. Astros up at the plate now. Nobody on, one man out. as Charlie Morton, the veteran, trying to do what he does best and take the Braves deep into the latter innings before they go to the bullpen. And here is the pitch, and it is another strike. Again, he is actually, excuse me, 3-1 count. Nobody on. Bottom of the first, Braves lead 2-0. Yeah, so Deshaun, we had talked a little bit about the fact that everybody gets pumped when one of the franchises is doing well. And we talked about a guy that you know very well, Mr. Trey Young, got a chance to go up for the clincher before, I think it was before game 6, if I'm not mistaken. Either that one or game 2, I can't remember. Anyway, he came on out before the game and got the fans pumped up. And so you can see, man, everybody's kind of feeding off of this, as they did with the Hawks last year.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I just listened to some of his comments in the post game press conference from yesterday, just kind of talking about the Braves, and obviously the Falcons have quite a bit of work left to do, but just the sports city that is the city of Atlanta and everything that it means to the people here. I mean, I don't think that there's many questions about the good teams that are in Atlanta and how they compete for championships. I guess the next step, obviously, is to win a championship. The Hawks had that opportunity after not many people thought that they would be able to do so on last year, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons making it within the last few years or so. And then even more so now you have the Braves having another opportunity. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a parade on Peachtree, because I'm just kind of sitting back, looking at my watch, waiting to see when this thing is going to happen. And we could get that fairly sooner than later if things stay abreast. But listen, the Atlanta Hawks is off to a 2-1 start now at this point, and trying to build on the success from last year. And it's not going to be easy. People aren't coming into Atlanta anymore just to, go hang out at strip clubs and eat chicken wings the night before the game. And by the way, there's a basketball game the next day. That's not the case anymore. People are going to have them circled and highlighted on their calendar. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Can I add to Sean this? Like you said, we all talking about championships here. Everybody is doing something great here in the state of Georgia. You got Tyler Perry, man. Tyler Perry bringing Hollywood to Georgia. He making that peach really stand out. So it's a lot of things that are happening. Now, I want to mention that to go to the Hawks. Now, of course, they had a real good run last year. But my question has always been, do players actually know what it takes to win a championship? You could be in the race every year, but only those who realize the investment that it takes, the intensity and focus that it takes, man, the comprehension and just understanding mentally. You got to be tough in certain situations. And these are just some of the things that pops in my head. The value of paying attention to the critical little things, man. Do you think the Hawks have actually grasped that, or do you think they're still like, we're still kind of young, we still feeling our way, or do you think they have really, really turned into that veteran team that can do the things that I just mentioned?
Yeah, it's going to take some time. This is a team that I think has to realize that, the target is on your back now. Instead of going from being, the hunter, you're being considered, the hunted now. So yes, it's going to take time. They still have relatively a lot of young guys on that team. But also the deepest team probably in the entire NBA. So, Cam Reddish is playing much better now, finally getting a chance to hopefully say that he's not just showing us flashes and teasing us anymore with some of his play. And then just everybody coming into sync and playing a lot better. I mean, you got guys that were really limited in playing time together from last season that just now are getting a chance to kind of really, really play together, kind of gel, develop, and establish some chemistry between one another. So that's going to bode well, and that's going to look good. But one thing they can't afford to do, I think, for me anyways, is looking down upon the opponents that, now we all understand that they have to, at least if not nothing else, not just maybe win games, but compete with some of the better teams, some of the best teams in the NBA that are going to be competing for a championship. But you can't afford to look down upon the teams of who you once were and take losses, kind of like the Cleveland Cavaliers, for example, on last week. So I think ultimately what it's going to come down to is health, and just trying to be better than you were just a year ago. And that's going to be tough to do because being better than where you got to a year ago is the NBA Finals, and essentially that's kind of like where the Braves are right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And I know that Tree is very excited about the play of Mr. John Collins.
I am. John Collins is playing great, but I'm also really excited about Cam Reddish, who you heard Deshaun mention. Just like I said last season when he came out there, I love that he played great defense. He plays both sides of the ball. And when he came out in the season opener, I believe he scored 10 points in the first 7 minutes off the bench and wind up scoring 20 points. He really, I think, is a key player for our team. So I hope that he can really stay healthy. And of course, John Collins, I love seeing him out there playing, making great plays. I saw him shooting some good threes. And I think that it's great for him to be able to, it's like pick your poison. How do you want it? So the Hawks are really gelling. I'm really loving how the season has started. But like I always say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I think the Hawks do have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder just because of how great they finished the season last year. And it doesn't seem like they're still getting a lot of the respect that they want. They're getting some respect, but I think they still want to get more respect from different analysts and people out there. So I think they're playing with a little chip on their shoulder just to prove people wrong.
And you know what? I'll say this much real quick is I like that. I like that approach. I mean, listen, I don't think this whole thing really needs to be so much about, man, we can't get no respect. Keep on disrespecting the Atlanta Hawks needs to be the motto and that attitude, because sometimes you get to giving people, a lot of credit, more credit than some of the others once the national media and things like that start catching on to exactly how good you are, which is slowly but surely, especially from a consistency standpoint, is what people are starting to notice that's happening with the Atlanta Hawks. But with that comes a certain amount of expectations. And it's not that they're not willing to take that on, but you also have to show, improve, and be consistent in those areas. So I know that they're ready to get the respect, but I kind of hope that people continue to disrespect them, because I think that that's something with that chip on their shoulder that they look forward to in terms of proving people wrong. Listen, Trae Young is the catalyst for this team. He is the straw that stirs the drink. He is the engine that makes this whole machine of an automobile go. And he remembers, listen, I've been on this kid since he was 16, 17 years old. He doesn't forget anything that people have said about him. He remembers everything, and he plays with a chip on his shoulder and wants to be one of the best players and the best leaders that this game has ever seen. So I think that a lot of these things bode well for the Atlanta Hawks. And real quick, I apologize for getting long-winded, but just talking about a guy like John Collins, who doesn't necessarily, I feel like, have like the greatest skill set in the world, but I'm not knocking him for his play because he's improved each and every single year that he's been in the NBA. Got to find a way to stay out of foul trouble early. He hasn't been able to do that in the past couple games. So back-to-back games, been in foul trouble early and seeing time on the bench quite a bit. He has definitely mentioned how he wants to continue to work on three things: his perimeter defense, as well as his ball handling and his rim protection. And he can definitely use a little bit more improvement in those areas. But I think that slowly but surely, maybe very slowly, but slowly but surely, that's coming to fruition.
Deshaun, that made me think when you said staying out of foul trouble. That's what I mean by the critical little things. It's just like football. If you want to win football games, you can't fumble the football, guys. We can't have turnovers. So it's the same thing in basketball. Fouls and being in foul trouble is just like fumbles and turnovers, man. You can't win games when you stay in foul trouble. And most important person can't play for 5 minutes or 6 minutes of the game or 10 minutes of the game, whatever the case may be. So that's what I mean. When a team is ready to win championships, man, the critical little things they pay attention to details, they would say.
No doubt. No doubt. So the big thing is what I thought in the Cleveland game, Deshaun, you kind of mentioned this about, kind of playing down the competition. The thing I worried about is that looking at that lineup, seeing all those 7-footers out there, and once again seeing Atlanta struggle in the paint, dealing with a team that's able to field, multiple guys in excess of 6'11". So, do you think that they still have enough firepower in their front line with their bigs, or are they going to have to make a move sometime during the season?
I think there's a possibility that they're probably going to have to make a move at some point. I mean, listen, you got Clint Capella up front. That looks really good. Obviously, you have John Collins as well. You bring in Gorgie Jang, who is, I guess, a veteran, somewhat more and more of a veteran, especially on this team per se. But I'm not sure that he's necessarily the greatest fit. I think you need somebody that can bring a little bit more contribution and productiveness, especially on the defensive end, more so the offense. But we don't want to forget about the guy who was a rookie last year, played a lot of defense on Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Eastern Conference Finals, and was just a rookie, and that's Onyeka Okongwu, who's out for the whole first half of this season. So that's a really big piece that this team is missing as a backup player, whether it be at the 4 position or the 5. The general manager and Travis Link has mentioned multiple times that the ability to draft, obviously, I don't think anybody, the consensus will probably agree with me saying that the job that he has done has been, superb with being able to draft players and even bring other guys in off of free agency, amongst other things. But one of the things that I think has the reasons why we've seen the Hawks have the success that they did have is because a lot of those guys that they're putting on the floor can play different positions. DeAndre Hunter can probably play anywhere between the 2 and the 4 position. A guy like a John Collins sometimes at the 5, even though he's a natural 4. Gorgie Jang, same thing. Okongwu, same thing. If need be, Capella may be the same thing, where you have guys like Cam Reddish and Kevin Herter can play the 2 position, the 3 position in a lot of cases. So because you can mix and match so many different guys and put them in different places, you can give a little bit of a different look for this team. But I think they just need to continue to get better defensively, continue to kind of get in shape. It's only 3 games, so I know that it's been really, really early on in the season. But even at the point guard position, I think they use a little bit more help. I'd like to see Lou Williams out there a little bit more. I know bringing in DeLon Wright, which I'm not sure if DeLon is the right guy for the backup point guard position. Personally, I would have liked to have seen somebody like Brandon Goodwin come back. But nonetheless, we want to give DeLon, amongst some other guys, some time to be able to come in and get used to the system in which they're going to be playing in, and maybe even hopefully see Sharif Cooper out there on the floor, an Atlanta native, a little bit more than we've seen the last 3 games.
Yeah, so 2 things. Number one, Sharif Cooper, I think eventually before the season is out, is going to be the number 2 guy. He's going to be the backup point guard because he really is the most Trey-like of the guys that they have, so there wouldn't be any kind of difference in kind of their style of play. And then wanted to give you guys an update, breaking news from Houston. The Astros loaded the bases after Charlie Morton hit a batter, but Morton got the next guy to ground out, so Braves escape a bases loaded jam and still hold a 2-0 lead and going into the top of the 2nd inning. So I just want to give you guys an update of what's going on as the Braves trying to get a World Series victory. First time since 1995 if the Braves can win
99.
this year. No,
They were in the World Series 1999, right?
I said a win, darn it.
You said a win.
A win. Okay. They haven't won since 1995. I did some research on this.
I
Okay.
got your same plane. I got you.
Oh, okay, I'm all right. No, but no, it is true. They haven't been in it since 1999. That's absolutely correct. And they have not won it since 1995. So this would be a big deal. Talking to some folks that are involved with the Cobb County Chamber, and they said, "Hey, brother, so we understand from a fan point of view that we like them to win." They said, "But doggone it, we don't won already because Cobb has been rocking since they went to the playoffs." So they're very, very excited. Go back to social media one more time before we go to the break. Back when we had the football segment, I just want to throw this in. Demetrius Alexander pointed out the fact that Mel Tucker definitely is making the difference there with Michigan State. So good shout out for him. And of course, our good man Todd is saying, "But sir, are the Hawks hungry like they were last year?" And that's the same question Tyrone is asking. Do you sense that hunger still, that chip on the shoulder mentality when you get around the Hawks right now?
I think so. I think that they are. I think the biggest question is that you have so many guys on this team that have never been in situations where they're following up a successful season and then preparing for what's coming after that in terms of having the targets on their back and leaving last year and last year. I remember coming into the season on media day, having some of these questions and conversations with guys like Lou Williams and Bogey Bogdanovich, guys like that. And asking them what's their biggest key to success for the upcoming season, and he said to get the guys really adjusted and accustomed to knowing that, nobody's going to lay down for you anymore. Guys are coming in. They know what you're well aware of. Leave last year and last year. It's a whole new season. We get it. It was a great season. We want to build off of that. But last year was last year. And it's easy to get caught up in what you did the year before and wanting the respect from the media. That doesn't need to be the focus. The focus needs to just be, how can we build on that? We're going to stay in our own square and just continue to try and improve and get better. The chemistry, just improving upon the chemistry, going out there each and every single night as if instead of being 2-1, going out there with the mentality that you're 0-3 and just have to get better and focus on winning a game. And when you have that type of mentality, you gotta, just kind of have that same hunger about you. Now, so I do think ultimately, to answer the question, yeah, they're as hungry, if not hungrier than they were before, but they're in a different place now than they were at that time. So I think that's some of the bigger keys to what we'll see out of the Hawks team with the upcoming season.
Now,
go ahead.
The hunger, and that's very important. They got to be hungry, man. And Shaq, I say this very quickly, doing Kobe's memorial. And I think this is an attitude that everybody should have, even though you play a team sport. So Shaq says, and a lot of you probably have heard this and seen the video, but Shaq says to, the audience, during one game, he went to Kobe and God rest his spirit. He says, Kobe, yo, pass the ball, man. I'm open. There's no I in team. And he said, Kobe said, yeah, that may be true, but that's an M and an E in it. So, so I'm like, that's the attitude that you got to have, man. I'm like, yes, it's a team sport, man. I'm out here trying to win. So that's how you get back to the championship. That's how you stay on top.
Wow. So you saying Trey should take that attitude? Give me the ball.
Hey, I'm like, hey, again, Kobe, one of the greatest players, man. Sometimes team is going to win it, but sometimes, individuals, they do it themselves. So, hey, it is what it is.
Well, there's no doubt we saw this with the Braves. I mean, as great as the team overall played, Eddie Rosario was the hands-down MVP. The guy that 14 hits, tied a record for most hits in the NLCS, and certainly his dramatic 3-run blast in game number 6 to kind of really give the Braves the lead they never lost. I mean, that was it. And he hit a big homer. Had a walk-off single. So, yeah, I mean, there's no question that somebody can be dominant and carry his team, especially in a short series. Well, speaking of guy being dominant, this guy is dominant in the world of basketball, and he's going to let you know how they can find out more about him. And I'm talking about Deshaun Tate. The floor is yours.
Yeah, please and thank you. Follow along on all social media platforms at Tate's Take Hoops. That's TATESTAKEHOOPS. We like to call it, where basketball lives and is, without question, the best, the most entertaining, the most informational, and the most educational basketball content on the planet in the form of a podcast. Just put in Tate's Take wherever you find your favorite podcast. And that's pretty much where you can find all my content. Or you can go to the Flow Television. There's a channel for it on Roku, as well as on Fire TV, as well as on Apple TV. You go straight to that sports section on the Flow Television on that channel, and that's where you can find all of the most updated and recent segments of my personal show. Again, that's Tate's Take, and appreciate everybody just for subscribing. Tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your baby mama where they can find all the information. And, of course, to all of you guys, appreciate you guys for bringing me on, especially you, Rev, that, sees and values my passion and my expertise. I really do appreciate that very much, and always looking forward to coming and joining you guys on the show, even if Miss Doman, next time I get on here, is going to be a little bit on the sad side.
Wow, she just laughed that off, bro. She shrugged off like, yeah, right. Well, listen, man, as always, we appreciate you, and we look forward to having you back again with us real soon.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Bye, Sean.
Bye.
Sean Tate in the building. Yeah, y'all two must-see TV, man. I mean,
he loves picking with me. What can I say?
Yeah, y'all funny, man. I mean, two Michiganders, but I mean, it's all in good fun, and it's just, like I said, good to see it. That's what make good sports talk radio. Giving you guys another update again. Braves have, they had a man on second, one out, but he's caught in a rundown now, and now he's tagged out. Bad base running again by the Braves, possibly running them out of an inning where they could have, maybe gotten a score. But the rundown was effective enough to let the runner who was on third come on home. So the Braves now are leading in the top of the second, 3-0 over the Houston Astros. So Braves are doing their thing early and looking to try to stack on, because just like themselves, the Astros are a team that you never can count out. This is a team that has won multiple big postseason games over the last couple of years, being behind. So the Braves know they have to keep it going and pour it on if they have a shot to win here in this World Series game. So I'm gonna try to do this, guys. I'm gonna try to get a little picture here of what we saw last week in high school football. Hopefully, I got a decent clip. Our last week's game of the week was this game right here: Jonesboro against Drew. And Jonesboro was their homecoming, and a young man, I'm still trying to find if he's my relative or not, young Mr. Simmons, posted up a 3-touchdown game. And let's see if I have a clip of that. I'm going to try to go to the Wayback Machine. Let's see if we got a clip of him scoring his touchdown. I'm not sure what this clip is, but we'll give it a shot real quick and take a peek.
Down the field here, victorious Jonesboro squad. They held on. It was tooth and nail.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted. All right, well, it happens sometimes, man. You go to videotape, and the videotape what you want. But just to reiterate, young Mr. Simmons wears number 15, scored 3 touchdowns. Tyrone, he was virtually unstoppable. That combination of Chad Garner to young Mr. Simmons was really unstoppable all night long. So big shout out to Jonesboro winning the game and being homecoming. Now, you guys have both went through that. How exciting is it for homecoming? When you're out there with Tree, you first, have you experienced that when you were in high school?
Oh, high
homecoming
school?
game? Yeah, high school. Going back to high school. I know it's going to make you go. I used to go back that far. Come on now.
I mean, of course I did, but our high school, like I said, my high school football team wasn't the greatest. So it wasn't really the excitement at the football games for homecoming. It was just the excitement with all the other festivities at actual school for homecoming. But in college, yes, I mean, my goodness, I didn't miss any homecoming games. Thankfully, our volleyball team, we were scheduled to play at home, so we could actually see all of the homecoming games. And I was there loud and proud with my signs, and I always put the face tattoos on the face. I had the pom-poms in my pockets and in my hands. So let me tell you, I come to the games ready to scream and cheer my team on a victory.
And Tyrone, how about you? Your memories from both high school and/or college?
Yeah, I'm like Tree, taking back to high school. But no, the thing I remember high school, just the gym. Homecoming week or what have you, all the football players, coming to the gym, and they have the band playing, and all the student body, comes in, and, coach, allows the football team to come in, and he makes his speech, and then next thing we're playing a homecoming game. But, college is totally different, man, totally different. You get an opportunity to see people that you probably haven't seen in 5 years or so. Some people go to homecoming every year, and some people that haven't been back to homecoming since they graduated, and you have an opportunity to see each other and embrace. So yeah, it's fun. Homecoming is totally fun.
Except, man, we're excited about it, and we were there for Jonesboro doing their thing. So it was just, like I said, it was just good to see. It was good to see those guys, and good to see them be able to pull out a victory in the homecoming game. So yeah, big excitement there for the guys at Jonesboro, and big shout out to them. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick one more break, and then we're going to talk some NFL football, giving you once again an update here from the game. 2 men on, 2 outs. Braves at bat, and they already have the lead 3-0. I know you guys are watching like us, having a great time. So, but keep it locked right here, because we'll talk a little football. We'll be right back.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Oh, man. Whoop. We have a little situation here. Here we go. Let's get her back up. There she is. Okay, I'm not sure what happened to our magic screen here, but let's kind of move people around here. There's everybody back now. Praise the Lord. All right, yeah. So definitely, just a lot of excitement in sports the whole weekend long, and we're just so happy that we're able to cover it and be in the middle of it. And like before this broadcast is over, we will, guys. I know you Jonesboro guys are watching, and I will play the clip. So don't worry, I'll find it and play it for you whenever we can get it. All right, college football, big weekend coming up here now. They call it the biggest cocktail party in the world. Georgia versus Florida. I'll go to you, Tree, first. Who do you think are going to win that ball game?
I think Georgia is going to win. I'm rooting for Georgia to win, and I actually think that they will win by, I'm saying, at least 14 points.
All right, Mr. Tyrone Poole, who you got? The Bulldogs or the Gators? Chomp, chomp.
You're muted.
Let's see if we can. Okay, you have to come back on, Tyrone. There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I do believe Georgia will pull it out, but again, this is a rivalry game, and anything can happen when you're playing against a rivalry. I do understand that Florida may have some quarterbacks that are very mobile, and the best thing that you can do against an aggressive defense, if you got someone that has to be accounted for, it slows down that aggressiveness for that defense. So what I mean by that is if you got to have somebody to spy the quarterback, then that's one less person that you got in coverage. So it sometimes can allow big plays to happen. So, but Georgia's defense is playing very, very well. And I know Kirby Smart is going to come up with some type of defensive game plan to make sure that the defense is not the cause if they were to lose to the Gators.
Yeah, so I'm looking for the Gators. I do something weekly. My boss, Mr. Alan Vigil, you guys see his commercials on, and proud supporter of our high school football and also this program. He is a big time Gator booster, long time Gator fan. So we, in fact, every week bet on college football. This week I have bet. I'm giving up 16 points to his Gators. We're thinking that Georgia is going to cover by at least 17. But the wild card really is, and Tyrone, you hit it on the head, is that who are the Gators going to play at the quarterback position? One of the things that that a lot of Gator fans have talked about is the inability of the head coach to play a guy who they feel is the better quarterback. They have a running quarterback that is really a lot of people comparing potentially to a guy that could be, if he had the time to play, that he could be a Tim Tebow-like player. And I'm talking about number 15, obviously wearing Tim Tebow's number, Anthony Richardson. This is a guy that every time he's come in the game, Florida fans will tell you he's been absolutely electric. He is a big guy. He's got a big arm. He's very elusive. And Florida fans are sitting there saying, why the whoop are you not playing this guy on the regular? So I can tell you, if in fact that this young man, Anthony Richardson, plays for the Gators the bulk of the game, this could be a very, very close game, because in the games that he played, especially game against Alabama, Alabama had to hang on for dear life to beat Florida. So that's going to be the wild card. If Anthony Richardson plays the whole game, I think Georgia's going to have their handful. They have not played against a quarterback like this as star the defense is. So that's going to be the wild card on that game, depending on what Florida does. With Coach Dan Mullen, get out the weeds and play the right guy.
Now, we said this before, Tree and I agreed on this. In college football, I think it's, to a team's advantage to have dual threats at quarterback, because that means that the defense, the college opponent, has to prepare two game plans. And we know in college sports, the college athletes have a certain amount of time that they cannot be a part of that particular sport. They have to have time off. So actually, I think it would work best in Florida's advantage to have two quarterbacks, because it puts pressure. Again, I think Tree and I alluded to when Georgia played Alabama. They had two different game plans, so to speak, two different quarterbacks. So it's kind of hard to try to put two game plans together when you don't have enough time to, do that. And college athletes are bound by rules. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Kirby Smart plays this week against, if they play both quarterbacks. But if they play one quarterback, like you said, Jonathan, then it makes it easier for Georgia. So if Anthony Richardson plays, then yes, it makes it easier. But, life is not about making it easy for your opponent. So I think that dual threat could be more of a problem.
I can tell you right now, and I've watched this young man's highlights a couple of times. If he plays the bulk of the game, Georgia is going to have their hands full, my friend. And like I say again, talking with Mr. Vigil and some of the other guys who are longtime Florida boosters, they say every game they go to, they're besides themselves. And I'm going to tell you, breaking news: if in fact Florida continues to kind of putt around the rest of the season like this, look for Florida to do the same thing LSU did to Coach Oberon. Sir, thank you, but no thanks. So if Dan Mullen cannot find a way to get Anthony Richardson on this field, because every time he plays, the team is just an entirely different team. If he doesn't do it, look for him to be gone out of the Florida bailiwick next year if he can't do it. So that's my prediction early. All right, Jonesboro fans, I think I finally found the clip for you. This is a touchdown pass from Garner to Simmons in the homecoming game. Let's hopefully give it a rip. So that was it. Chad Garner to Malcolm Simmons. Not one, but 3 times in that game they connected on touchdown passes. So, again, big shout-out to Jonesboro for knocking off a determined Drew squad in their homecoming game. So, guys, there's your highlight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. All right, so now let's shift over to a little bit of the NFL and our Atlanta Falcons. Guys, what do you think about the Falcons? Is this the real deal? Are they a resurging team or no? Tree, you first.
Are they the real deal? I'm going to have to say no. But I am seeing some promising things, and that's all that you can do as a team. You have to focus on the things that you can do well and continue to do those things well and get better at even those, because you don't just want to do them well. You want to be the best at everything. And then you also want to improve on the things that you're not doing well. Am I seeing some promising things from the Falcons? Definitely. I like what I see when I watch them play. Do they have a lot of things that they need to work on? Yes, but I do feel like they are starting to gel more as a team. And so that is starting to display with the different routes that they're running and just how they're connecting with one another. So I don't think they're there yet, but I do see a lot of promising things that can come in the future.
Tyrone, what do you think? Byron and Shell and this team has finally turned the corner, or still got a ways to go?
But you know what? It's still, I'm still looking at the stock. I'm not going to buy right now, and I'm not going to sell. But I do think that they have an opportunity. And let's not forget, you got Coach Smith coming in. He's trying to institute a new system. And it takes time for a system to actually take over. Aspirin, you take an aspirin. The aspirin is not going to get rid of your headache just like that. It takes time for it to go through your body. So I think it's going to take time for his system to actually be implemented. He's probably still looking for a few players here, a few players there to complement his system. So that's why I always tell people, success is not going to happen overnight just because you get a new coach or the team gets new uniforms. It takes time for it to set in, but I can't say that Matt Ryan is still continue to do his thing. I just think, man, if they can get a running game behind Matt Ryan, no, he's not going to throw the ball deep and be like a Dan Marino or a Peyton Manning, but I think he's where Peyton Manning was at the end of his career. He's still bright enough, smart enough to throw the ball where the ball needs to go, and he's not going to have a lot of turnovers. Where he threw 40 times for 336 yards against the Dolphins. So, to throw the ball 40 times, people, that says that your arm is still good. Okay, he might not have the strength to throw it deep, but he has the ability to throw it 40 times. And just got to get a running game. And Kyle Pitts, the last couple of games he's been targeted and he's been doing some good numbers. I think he's doing great for a rookie at that position, tight end. He set a lot of first ever by a rookie tight end. But again, it takes a complete team in football, and the defense got to make more plays. But I do think It's going to happen. So like I said, I'm holding on to this stock, and I'm not going to sell it right now.
So he's what we call in the world of finance, this is a buy and hold stock. We're not selling, but we ain't buying yet either. Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you got to give a big shout out to what the team has done. Now, again, they're playing against inferior opponents. You look at teams like the Jets and the Dolphins. These are teams that I think combined have 2 wins between the two of them. But nevertheless, Tyrone, you pointed out many times, winning a football game in the National Football League is hard. I don't care who you're playing. So what are the good things we see about the Falcons? Number one, and I know Terry Fontenot's a happy man. He's saying, doggone Kyle pitches balling out. And again, we no disrespect to Justin Fields. I hope obviously he gets, his line together at Chicago. But you look at these two guys, Fields has not been able to do much of anything with Chicago. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Kyle Pitts is setting all type of rookie records. Let's look at his stats for last week. 7 receptions, 163 yards, 23.3 yards per catch. He didn't get a touchdown, but for a tight end to average over 20 yards of reception, Tyrone, that's stout. That's like what you expect from a deep ball receiver. Running the ball still has been Cordero Patterson. And yeah, I know they brought Mike Davis in to potentially be the guy, but Cordero Patterson is showing that he is the guy that is the energy or the energizer bunny on that team. 14 carries, 60 yards, and Big Deal obviously is averaging just over 4 yards a carry. Matt Ryan, you talked about the fact 25 of 40, 336. I think the biggest thing that you guys both like about the Matt Ryan performance, Tyrone, especially, used the resiliency. Matt went at 1.1 for 11 and had a costly turnover that allowed Miami to get the lead late, but he was undaunted and marched them down for the game-winning field goal with no time on the clock. So, I mean, at the end of the day, those are the great takeaways that you can get from the Falcons. Offense looking like they're finally gelling. Kyle Pitts showing repeatedly why he could be, in fact, what everybody talked about, generational player tight end, that nifty one-hand grab with while being held basically by the defensive back on the other end. Yeah, that was just a great catch. His second or third game where he's made a kind of spectacular highlight film catch. So, yeah, from that regards, Falcons are good. Now, I'm going to ask you guys both another question, and this may have to deal with some mental health issues going on. Calvin Ridley, do you think he will be a Falcon after this year? Because apparently he's having some types of personal problems off the field. Tree, what do you think? And certainly his performance, let's get his stats from last week. Basically not a factor at all in the passing game. 4 receptions for a meager 26 yards and only caught 50%, just under 50% of his total targets. So what do you think? Is there something going on behind the scenes? Is this guy going to continue to be a Falcon? What are your thoughts? Without obviously having a lot of information.
Yeah, I can't say, because it would explain with just some of the things that I've seen where Matt had threw the ball literally right to him. And I do think that when you're experiencing things in your personal life, it does play a part a lot of times in what happens on the field or on the court. And I also know that he did not travel to the London game for different issues that he was having. So will he be a Falcon next season? I don't know. He knows what's going on. The team probably knows what's going on. So if it's something that he can work through and overcome, hopefully he still can be. If it's something that he or the team feels that it's not a good fit for each other, then he may not be. But of course, I'm always wishing and hoping for the best. So that's not a question that I can answer.
Tyrone Poole, taking just a look at some of the things you've seen, what do you think about Calvin Ridley and his continued presence on this team?
Yeah, again, let's understand the guy's young, okay? When I say young, he's not like some of these guys where they've been around for 10 years or so, and you see the skill set dropping. You know what? One thing that the late Al Davis said, he says you can always go and hire some coaches, but it's hard to find talent. Okay, so let's face it, the guy's talented. Now, I want to go back and throw up Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon, as much as he's gotten in trouble, the guy, the NFL still reinstated him. Okay. Why? Because the guy's still talented. He's still talented. So I don't think you win championships with average players. You win championships with talent. Okay, that's what we said about the Hawks. That's what we said about the Braves. You win championships with talent. Now, what they're going to probably do, they're going to sit him down and say, hey, do him maybe just like they did Ezekiel Elliott. Whatever his situation is, I don't know. But whatever situation is, you can always write it up in a contract. If he is so focused, if it's something that he can handle, then they're going to write it up in the contract and say, hey, for every time that you allow this to happen again, boom, you're going to get docked. You're going to get whatever charged. Now, if it's something that, that really a group of people got to really sit down with it, maybe it's some family members with somebody else, but I'm just talking about the things that he probably can handle. Then that's when they write up in that contract, they put it in that clause. Look at Ezekiel Elliott. You see what Jerry Jones did with him. Ezekiel Elliott was always in trouble. Man, you ain't heard nothing from Ezekiel Elliott. So, again, we don't know what the situation is. Whatever it is, I wish him the best. But Calvin Ridley is talented, and you can't win championships without talent. So, yes, I do see him being in a Falcon uniform next year. And as many years as he wants, I think that they're going to probably write it up some kind of way or really sit down with him and say, hey, how can we help you? And then once they find out how they can help him, then boom. Okay, how do we solve it? And there we go. So, I think he's going to be a Falcon fan. You can't hide talent. You can't win championships without talent.
Well, before I comment on Nate, I'll give you an update from the Braves game. Eddie Rosario continues his hot hitting. He dropped from the number 1 spot to number 5. It doesn't seem to matter. Another base hit for Eddie Rosario to lead off the top of the 3rd. So he's on base, nobody out. Atlanta already holding a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. Let's go to social media here. Our good man Todd, he said, hey, Ridley got called out by the coach. He got upset. He pouted and sat out a game. Now they are playing him to showcase to trade him. And what he's basically talking about, there's an article right now on Fansided. Those guys, Fanside actually has a particular guy that covers each team. I'll read you the headline. This is what it says right here. It says, if I get to it, it says, Calvin Ridley's future with the Atlanta Falcons is in serious doubt. And one of the reasons that is, listen, I don't know what kind of trouble that he might be dealing with off the field, but there's no question that his performance on the field has not been anywhere near what we've seen in the first 2 years in his team, even going back to his rookie year. He has shown something that you can't be as a number 1 receiver. He's shown the inability to make catches consistently. He's had way more drops this year. And number 2, and again, it's easy for me to say here, sitting here in this lovely couch with the backdrop of Minute Maid behind me, he has shown that he's been unwilling to go across the middle like his predecessor, Julio Jones, who was, was a guy that wherever you threw in the ball, he made the catch. So Calvin Ridley, his performance on the field has been bad. When you get 10 targets, or was it 9 targets, and you catch 4, yeah, he just has not been the Calvin Ridley we've seen a couple of years ago. And like you said, Tyrone, nobody's going to pay you. People will pay you even if you cut the fool off the field. But if you ain't performing on the field, that ain't going to happen. That's why Josh Gordon keeps coming back, because every time he comes back, he performs on the field. Let's go here to Todd, and he says, Tyrone, come on, Willie is not as talented as those receivers you mentioned. I don't know if he is or not, but all I can tell you is that since last year, we have not seen the Calvin Ridley that we expected to see.
Let me address that. Now, again, everybody likes to try to compare one person for everybody. That's why I don't like that thing about who's the GOAT. And this, you know what? They're the GOAT in their own rights and their own talents. But you can't take someone and compare them against somebody else. Just like I can't take and compare myself to anybody that I know. I only know what I can do good. And I do know this. When I look at Calvin Ridley, he does run good routes. Okay. How many receivers out there are great route runners? The guy does run great routes. Okay. Now, no, he's not catching the ball this year. But everybody, go back to last year. Everybody was, send Julio away. We got Calvin Ridley. But you see how people are so fair weather? So fair weather, man. That's why I always say here in Atlanta, I'm like, man, depending on which way the wind blowing, them jokers, man, are going to be with you. They're going to be against you. Maybe some of the Atlanta Falcon fans need to go up and visit Pittsburgh and visit even the Raiders, man. They haven't won in a while, but they fan base, they're loyal, man. They're loyal. Go visit up in Boston. You better not walk up in Boston with another team's jersey on and go into a bar. You may not get out of there alive. But again, I'm not saying nothing about nobody, man, but I'm just saying people just, they either love you or they're going to hate you, depending on what you do. So again, they were just talking about Calvin Ridley last year. Oh man, he caught more touchdowns than Julio Jones. He's gonna be our next number one receiver. Now he go through a bad time when everybody need to be behind him, cheering him, getting him going forward. Oh man, forget him, man. He's no good. Man, look at here, boy. It's tough. It's tough, man. So Calvin Ridley, go do your thing, man. Get your head right. Get with the right people, brother, and watch how fast people get back on your bandwagon.
But like you said, that's what it's all about. It's about production, and not only that, Tyrone. You know that a lot of times perception is reality, and the perception you get from Calvin Ridley, from again, I ain't played it down ever, but the perception you get is body language, the way he's kind of going about his business is different than what we've seen before. He just don't look like the same guy, and a lot of times he look like he's not interested. But I tell you, who's interested right now, baby. The big bopper, Austin Riley, hits a 2-run blast into the seats. Braves now lead 5-0 on the Houston Astros. How about them Braves? All right, let's go to social media here. Todd is saying, bad time, Tyrone really quit on the team. I mean, I'm not going to go and I don't want to say a guy quit and all that kind of stuff, but I'm saying the bottom line is that I'm going back to strictly performance on the field. I'm not trying to get into mental health break because anybody can take shots at people for not taking time off. I'm telling you, for a guy that doesn't take much vacation, you need those mental breaks. All of us sitting here have done jobs or whatever it may be, physical, non-physical, you got to take a break. And sometimes if you don't, you feel like your head's going to pop off. So I'm not getting on the guy about that. But what I'm saying is that right now on the field, there have been times when I'm watching him and he just doesn't look like he's as engaged as he was in previous time. If that doesn't stop, he's going to be gone.
Let me say this. Everybody who's talking right now, whether it's me, whether it's Tree, whether it's you, Minister, whether it's Todd, or anybody who's listening or watching, you know what? Here's the Falcons address, okay? 4400 Falcon Parkway, Flowery Branch, okay? Send him a letter and tell him, hey, we're behind you, Calvin Ridley. Man, we need you, man. You are a good receiver. What's going on? Can I help you? That's what you do. You want to solve a problem. You don't solve a problem by beating a man down. Okay, you solve it and send him. If you're a fan of his, you support him. The address is 4400 Falcon Parkway, Flowery Branch. Okay, send him a letter. Talk to him. Tell him you love him, and maybe that'll make him change.
Well, I'm happy that you said that, Tyrone, because what I wanted to say is a lot of times fans do not realize that athletes are human beings. They're human, just like you go through different issues with family members or different things that you go through. Athletes have to do the same thing. Yes, this is their profession. Yes, they are going to work. Yes, they are getting paid to perform. We know that. At the same token, sometimes things can affect their performance on the field. And so, like Tyrone was saying, you can't just be so quick to just give it up. Yes, Jonathan, you did make a good point that it's not the same Calvin Ridley that we have seen in previous years. Yes, we all can tell that. But as you said, where he just doesn't seem like he's as engaged, we also know that he's going through some personal things. So I don't think that now is the time to just give up on him, because obviously he's not playing his greatest. He's not seeing like he's going through the best of times, because we know it's not like we're not aware that he's going through personal issues. So to me, that would explain why he's not seeming as engaged while he's out there, even though I'm not saying that's right. Don't get me wrong. When I was playing volleyball, and even if my teammate may have broken up with her boyfriend, I still didn't accept her not giving 100% on the court. So I get that because my whole thing was, if you're going through issues, take it out on the court and not, it doesn't give you a reason to slack. So I get that when I think about it from a competition point of view, because I do, I only know how to go hard. But at the same token, he is human, and we do know that there's so much going on in the world right now. So at the same token, we weren't going through COVID. We weren't going through a lot of the things that we're going through now. And so I just think that people need to give him some grace and not just be so quick to just give up on him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add this real quick. I've been in the game, okay? Been in the game. And fans, you can send letters. And just like Tree said, you know what? Her teammate. And the one thing, when I saw Minister put his hands up, yes, like Tree said, she spoke both She spoke both. She didn't speak from just one side. She spoke from both. Let's not forget that. She was on the same team with her teammate. So I'm pretty sure Tree was able to sit in the locker room and say, hey, after the game, hey, what's going on? What's going on? But then during the game, hey, come on now, let's forget about that. Let's get out there and play. So that's where I say we got to speak from both sides of the coin. All right. So again, I know as a player, it feels good to get those letters. You go to your mailbox and you see that letter from that fan. They say, hey, you know what? Man, I love watching you play. It's just like a pat on the back. So again, my thing is to all the so-called Falcon fans, and if you're a fan of Calvin Ridley, the address is 4400 Falcon Parkway, Flowery Branch, Georgia, 30542. Send the man a letter, write it to him, tell him how you think about it, what you feel about it, and hopefully that right there will get him over the hump. And then he get in the game, he go be like, hey, you know what, Jonathan, Minister Simmons wrote me. Man, I'm gonna do this for him. That letter really got me going. It got me focused. So again, people, that's just me. That's just me. That's real talk. See, this real talk sports, that's real talk right there.
Well, I'm gonna take that to heart. I'm gonna throw him some good stuff. Now, keep in mind, I was the guy that said that, he could be feeling some kind of way because, he primarily is a over-the-top receiver. Matt does not have those kind of skill sets. He had shown some frustration on the field when Matt has come on the throwing him. So I don't want to just throw the guy under the bus. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're basically telling people I'm gonna be the number one guy and I'm gonna do this and the other thing. Sometimes you have to kind of work through those things. So that's all I'm just saying.
Put it in the letter, send it to him. Exactly what you just said. Put it in the letter, send it to him. He will read it. I promise.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and send a letter from the preacher. And then also, I'm going to get some help from our good friend Todd, because he says also he will send letters as well. So we will both send letters to hope Mr. Ridley will be feeling better. Because look, at the end of the day, as both a quote unquote media guy and a fan, I want to see Calvin Ridley do well. I want to see him at least get to what he did last year when he was 90 receptions, I think, and 1,390 yards. And oh, by the way, I was the guy defending him, Tyrone, when you were saying, well, he wasn't what we thought he was. So, I mean, I'm in the guy's corner.
Let's go back. You make sure you truly state it, but make sure it's a statement of truth, but make sure it's truly stated. So just like the media, just like you say, you're the media. Don't take something that I say and then ... and then add on again. If you don't speak it in its entirety. So you'll know exactly what I said and why I said that.
Okay, let's go to the entirety. You questioned his impact, especially getting first downs. And I had to go to the documents that showed that over 60% of his plays were for first down. You did not say he was a bad receiver. You didn't throw the guy under the bus. So I'm going to put the full disclosure. But, I was in defense of Mr. Ridley, saying that he was better than maybe what you had originally said during that time. That's all I'm saying.
And being a veteran guy, anybody who's a veteran, whether you're a veteran or your job, 9 to 5, which sports is 9 to 5 too, you still, I don't care how good somebody comes in, you're still going to say, okay, you still got to show me. But you're not sitting there throwing the person, they're not good. I said, yes, okay, third down, yes, this and that. I don't really see that right now. All right. So anytime I've said anything, and go back and replay all the shows, I've always come from the middle. I don't believe in dogging nobody, because I believe as a professional athlete, the reason why you're in that professional ranks is because you got talent. Now, whether you are playing up to that talent or not, that's up to you. But nobody plays professional basketball, professional baseball, a CEO or a Fortune 500 company, or play professional football. You don't just do something just because it happens. Something that was done to get you to that point. Now, whether you're playing to that level, that's another story. But that's why I never try to bash nobody, because to be a pro, it took something to get there.
Well, there it is. Now, I'm going to go to social media. We're going to have some good news. There's an update. Yes, we know the Braves are up here. Let's go ahead and put it on the ticker so you guys can all see it while we're still on. Braves are leading right now 5-0. They're still batting at the top of the third. Nobody on, 2 outs, but they again have posted up 5 runs already in the third inning, and the chop is moving as the Bravos again try to get it done here. And it's because you guys know on these 7-game series, the key thing is the road team is trying to get a split.
Yes.
So if the Braves can win this one, they playing with house money tomorrow. But the bottom line, they'd like to get this, and certainly once you go 5-0, even though Houston is a team that has shown they can come back against anybody, you don't want to squander a 5-run lead with your number one pitcher, Charlie Morton, pitching. So hopefully the Braves will be able to hold on and close this one out. But they lead right now in the top of the third inning, 5-0. Dansby Swanson still at the plate, 2-2 count, and 2 outs, nobody on. Yeah, I'm feeling some good energy from these Bravos, baby. I'm feeling some good energy. Yes, sir. We all got the chop going, baby. And why shouldn't we? As the Braves, again, you guys can see it across the ticker, are ahead 5-0 here. The Astros now have their third pitcher in the game. Garcia's pitching for the Astros, and he's trying to keep the Braves from scoring any more runs here in the third to keep this game within reach. Because, again, guys, we got a long way to go. Third inning, the Astros have one of the best hitting lineups in baseball. They have been to the World Series 3 times in the last 5 years. And like Tyrone likes to say, you don't get there by luck at that level. You got to be amongst the very best. So Houston has been that all year long. Again, as we are broadcasting to you here, we'd like to say we're at Minute Maid Stadium, but well, we're virtually there. So we thank God for that. That's close enough for me right now. It's close enough. I'm virtually in the stadium with our Atlanta Braves. Well, look, guys, as always, man, the time has kind of rocketed by very, very quickly. So we're going to let people, do as we do each and every week. Let people know where they can find you, social media and the like. And, of course, we're going to go to the world champion first, Mr. Tyrone Poole. The floor is yours.
Yeah. You know, people can send me information at 4400 Falcon Parkway.
Wow.
Now, Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. So I had to throw that one in there.
There it is.
Oh. Tyrone Poole 38, all social medias. And hey, go to my foundation, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. You know, hey, need your support, time, talent, treasure. You know, it's all helping to donate to help build champions. But yeah, Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Tree, for being a part of the Real Talk. And all those who are watching and listening, man, may you have a great, safe night.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, okay, if y'all want to get some tips on how to get in shape, go to Instagram, Tyrone Poole 38. He be flexing, y'all. I mean, he look like he go out there and play right now. I'm just saying.
Tell him, Tree, work that thing. There you go.
Work that thing. Yes, sir. All right, Tyrone, look forward to having you back next week.
Work that thing, Kevin Ridley.
Yes, sir. All right, the queen, Miss Tree Doman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on all social media at It's Latresa, as well as Ms. America International 2020. And I do also want to let people know that if you know anyone who wants to sponsor or donate to my nonprofit organization, Making It Better Me Incorporated, we are doing a turkey giveaway, we are going to feed 100 families with turkeys and a full meal. So if you know anyone who wants to donate, please reach out to me. You can email me at info@makingitbetterme.org. Again, that's info@makingitbetterme.org. And just let me know if you want to donate any turkeys or any finances, anything that's going to help us feed 100 families this Thanksgiving. But again, you can find me on all social media at It's Latresa, as well as Ms. America International 2020.
There's right there, guys. And I'll be the first to say that I will be donating either a turkey or the price of a turkey. So the minister is always throwing his hat in the ring right there. Hopefully you guys will follow me in doing that as well. All right, guys, we appreciate you as always for watching us. You can follow the show and myself on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Or you can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. Either one, love to have you kind of do that. Also, you can contact the show by simply hitting me up on email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or you can give me a call on the cell, 678-410-9833. If you have something involving, if you have a player or a coach that you think we should, have on our show, especially if they're doing great things off the field as well, please hit us up, jsimmons@realtalksports.net, or simply give me a call at 678-410-9833. Well, everybody call me Rev and the Minister. I actually am a real live one. So before I leave this broadcast, I'm going to do as I do each and every week. I'm going to implore you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know God, if you don't have that personal relationship with the creator of the universe, I will tell you can do it by simply believing in his son, mighty Yahashua HaMashiach. That's the government name for Jesus Christ. He came here both fully man and fully God and did something spectacular. He died on the cross. And when he did that, he took all the sins of all mankind, past, present, and future. And that was it. And when he rose from the dead, something marvelous happened. He had in his hand a wonderful gift called salvation, that any person that believed in this, in fact, would be absolved of their sins, and they would have two great things happen. Number one, they would become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, they would become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. That means they could now, you and I can now go to God and call him like Father and go to him, ask him for anything that we need or desire. And according to his will, he'll give it to us. And then number two, when we leave here, we get to go to the most spectacular place ever created, a place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people. It's never dark, light all the time, illuminated by the Spirit of God himself. And you never die. It's a wonderful place where nothing but great people, beauty everywhere, every building adorned with the most beautiful jewels made. And matter of fact, the streets are paved with a gold that's so pure, it's translucent. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things that are in heaven won't be in hell. So you will not get to be around any good people, everybody bad in hell. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dark. It's going to be dreary. And most of all, you'll be cut off from Jesus Christ and God the Father forever and a day. And I don't know about you, I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time, may the Lord God bless you real good, and we'll see you again real soon. So long.